Welcome to the Root of It All podcast with Tree, where you will learn new habits for human betterment. We talk about all things related to personal growth, and everything is on the table. Each episode will explore different topics like self-care, mindfulness, goal setting, and more, with a focus on practical tips and actionable advice you can start implementing in your life today. Our goal is to help you become the best version of yourself and live a more meaningful life. So grab a drink, cozy up, take your dog for a walk, or go for a drive. Join us for some fun and meaningful conversations with some amazing humans. Let's grow together.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Root of It All with Tree. And today I am with the lovely Amanda Golightly, and she is from Align Natural Health. She's a hypnotist, a fellow hypnotist, and she is also a natural health pro, which she does all kinds of really cool stuff. So she's a very awesome guest because she could bring a lot of insight into things from all kinds of different themes or avenues. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being on with you.
Oh, well, I'm excited about this theme too, because with Amanda and I, we get into all kinds of like awesome conversations, and they can go off in all kinds of directions. So, when we were deciding on what we're going to talk about, the word beliefs came up because the reason why we're able to talk about so many different things in an open way with no judgment whatsoever, and we're in so much curiosity, is because we have such flexible belief systems. And so teach us about so Amanda also used to be in a rock band, which is really cool. Is it right that I say a rock band? Is it alternative band? What kind of music did you play?
I guess, yeah, rock band, because it was more classic rock. A lot of that was kind of what we played. Rock band, sure. It was a totally different life. That's all I have to say from where I am now. It's pretty interesting to reflect back and see where I was then more than 10 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how fast time goes, where I was staying up late. I used to drink alcohol back then and obviously playing in the band. We were getting together to rehearse quite often and had a few gigs here and there. And it's just a totally different life as far as the interactions with people, going out to bars. This is something I barely ever do now. So I'm pretty much like night and day from where I was back then, which is very intriguing. And I've also, with that journey, discovered and learned a lot more about health and how to achieve better health and getting to the root cause of why I've been dealing with certain things, and the same for clients that we have too. So it's been an amazing journey, and it's still going.
Hmm. And the cool thing about your background and even music is I find anybody that I meet that has this passion for music, and obviously you had a huge passion for music because you play the guitar, you sing, obviously into music. Otherwise, can you imagine? Oh, so you're into music? No.
It doesn't jive, does it?
Yeah. So, and then I love even the word, it doesn't jive. That's
Yeah.
even a music term, right? So, yeah, it's
Go figure.
yeah, you elude all of that. And but the cool thing about anybody that is really into music is that they have a different energy about them. Because when you're really into music, you're tapping into this energy, this rhythm that is not like you're not getting so sucked into your own rhythm. So just to expand on that, but every single thought is almost has a beat to it, right? Every single emotion that a human has that stems from thought, it has a beat, it has a rhythm to it.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at music, it's cool that we can move out of the chorus and into different words, or we can feel safe moving back into the chorus, right? So you being a hypnotist, the chorus being like a positive anchor or like a positive experience. And then even the words in between the courses, maybe they might be not so great emotions or things like that, but you have these anchors of like the choruses that you can hang on to. So what if you were to pick like a song or a couple of songs or even like oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. I didn't know you were going to ask me this. We're talking about beliefs.
Like now I
But
have to
this is
pick a song. Oh
important.
God.
Yeah, but you're modeling for other people that they can pick even their own song. So anybody listening to this, like pick your song that you can hold on to the chorus lines that make you feel good, that allow you to release emotion, but you're also connected to the rest of the words because it brings you through an emotion, right? And that's what songs do. Songs bring you through emotions.
When you were talking about that, it just made me think with the rhythm and flow, everything is just frequency. Music, our bodies, every organ that we look into and tap into. And when tapping into music specifically, there is definitely a flow to that. And where's the journey taking me? What am I tapping into now as far as emotions? And with asking me the question about what song I would choose, I just had it's Key to the Highway with Eric Clapton and BB King that popped in my head because that's been
Yes.
playing in my head this week. And that was one pretty sure I used to play that years ago, just kind of because it's just one of those cool songs you can get into
Oh
and
yeah,
just
I love me some Eric Clapton and BB King. Like that.
yeah,
You cannot go wrong. Like like that combination.
yeah, it's just a good vibe and just kind of going again with the flow as far as the emotions where they were taking me and being able to because it is a lower vibration for the vocals.
Yep.
I was definitely kind of throwing out some lines there myself, and it feels good. It feels good
Mhm.
just allowing myself to just be with that music and enjoy the moment wherever I happen to be. I was working at the time, and that just helped make that moment even better, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and even the cool thing too is when we even sing along, like with so say you're singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you see in the audience people singing along with you. It's like they're literally it for that moment in the same energy as you, in the same
Mm-hmm.
bubble of energy as
Connected.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing. Like I don't know if you if you knew this, maybe you did. Maybe I even mentioned it to you. I don't know, but Jeff and I, my husband, we were watching the even before the new version of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car came out with
Mm-hmm.
Luke Holmes or whatever. Um, we watched I forget what rabbit hole we went down. Anyways, we saw how that song came about. So I think it was Prince that was going up on stage and they couldn't figure out the mechanics of the equipment for the
Mm-hmm.
microphone and everything for him. And she just happened to be backstage at this massive, I forget, they did this huge massive event with huge singers, smaller singers, different state. I think they had 6 different stages. It was in the US somewhere.
Amazing.
But she was backstage, just, you know, it just so happened to be, and they couldn't figure out Prince's, was there a Prince or Queen or a
Huge.
huge headline, yeah.
Yes.
And they couldn't figure out the equipment and everyone was waiting. And so they pushed Tracy Chapman out on stage. And so she had just so happened to have this huge audience because they're waiting for, I forget if it was Prince or Queen or whatever it was. And
What an
she,
opportunity.
right? And she sang that song. And in that moment, the same thing that we're talking about, everyone tapped into that same energy of that song. And that's what made her famous.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
So yeah. Oh, okay. So I didn't tell you before. So
No.
this is information. So anyone that's listening to it, if you like Google that and I'll even put the YouTube video in the show notes of it. But yeah, so when we talk about vibration and the power of it, this is just one single woman that stood out on stage with her guitar in front of a masses of people and made extreme change, right? And so now, even however many years later, the song came back around.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about the power of music, and the power of vibration and sound. And you and I have had many conversations about this just in terms of energy itself on like high frequency, but in an individual, right? So, what would you say if someone were to ask you, as I guess I'm asking you right now, when it comes to like energies, how would you describe like a freedom energy?
Freedom, I think it goes along with what I was saying about the song, and just there's no specific path that you're on. You're in the moment, you're present, and you're able to adjust to basically whatever's calling you, I suppose. If there's a certain feeling or thought that pops up, usually that's something that our intuition is telling us, and we can follow that. If you're in freedom, you listen. You don't have your mind coming in and saying, hold on a second, what time is it? How long is it going to take? Do I have all my stuff? You just you just go with the flow, and you don't question.
Mhm.
I think that's part of freedom. And otherwise, just the ability to go wherever you want to. You have that drive to, I want to be here. Cool. I'm going to go. Oh, wait, I think I want to go this direction. It's just, there's options with freedom. You're not
Yes.
confining yourself to a box or one particular path to your destination. There are many paths to a
Hmm.
destination, and maybe you don't end up at the one you thought you were going to.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's just so much variety that you have in front of you if you are hanging out in the world of freedom.
Yes. And it's interesting that whenever change, like when people are looking for change, that they need to step into this freedom and option. So even if it's not a natural place to be for a lot of
Mhm.
people, that they do have to step into it for a little bit of time or find like a resourceful state, right? So
Mhm.
for you, probably um, playing music or remembering being up on stage, like being in, or other things. I'm sure you have other things can help with change, right? And then even the opposite, some people they feel um safe and secure either staying home or like having like a home base
Mhm.
or like a home um
Absolutely.
yeah, like
Yeah, I can resonate with that too, for sure.
yeah. So it's really anyone listening to this, so if you find that you're being stuck, look for options. And
Mhm.
an easy way to do that is through music, through vibration, changing your vibration. And what else would you suggest or add to that?
Something that actually came up was, even if maybe there's an activity or sport that caught your attention, there's a reason that it did. Even
Hmm.
though maybe you're not as social as you would like to be, or maybe there's something holding you back about your level of skill, there's an opportunity there, and there's a reason that it came to your attention. And that's a perfect time to expand and push yourself out of the comfort zone, because it is very easy to stay there.
Hmm.
And if
So
you want to experience more, that's the only way you're going to be able to do that.
so teach people, because this would be a great thing for people to learn. Teach people what your process is to come out of like think it to think it to think, because all of us as humans can get into the think it
Yeah.
to think it to think, right?
Oh, yes.
So what's your process to get out of the think it to think it to think and then get into moving your body or getting into the freedom zone or getting
Mhm.
into new experiences or whatever it is?
I think even just for changing frequencies, the vibration,
Hmm.
because we all, even just for being on the podcast with you, we all have, sometimes there's little nervousness or something that comes with us, if I'm being honest. I was doing
Yeah.
some tapping before I got here. Just kind of, everything's cool. I'm awesome. This is going to be great. All the information that needs to come out, it's going to come out today. Just something as simple as that, just to kind of get into the energy you want to be into, as opposed to this energy of, am I going to say the right thing? Is this is going to suck, blah, 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 all these negative things that we want to come out with.
So
What if it's not that? What if it is awesome? What if your message gets to the person that really needs to hear it?
absolutely. So it's changing your state of mind through tapping. And what give people like that are just listening to this
Mm-hmm.
that can't see what you just did and
Yes.
just yeah.
Thank you
So
for that.
just give three places on the body is the most common where they can tap
uh,
and teach them like because you just said something the same time that you were tapping. So teach people that.
yeah, so there's a triple warmer spot that's on, usually I use my dominant hand to tap. And it's just there's a V shape between your pinky and the ring finger. So you
Mm-hmm.
can just tap in that location while you're saying positive things. And you need to say it as if you believe it. You need to feel that. So then it resonates with your body. And this is something that I actually learned through the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. So I'll give the credit to them because that's where I got it from. And you're just tapping away and you're saying all these positive things to yourself, like, I am amazing. I am a fantastic practitioner. I am changing lives. I am bringing joy to the world. And then you just kind of anchor that and say awesome to yourself while you stare at your hand. And just the energy I feel from doing that is pretty cool. There's quite the vibration going through my body.
Yeah, I can
And
see it. I can see
Mhm.
it. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just little tools that we can have in our toolbox just to help us shift if we're not in the place we want to be at that moment. It's so simple.
Awesome. Yeah, and it ticks off a lot of boxes. So vibrationally, and
Mm-hmm.
then anybody that's auditory, they're hearing it because they're saying it out loud. And then also you said look down at your hand, so you're seeing it,
Yeah.
feeling it, and hearing it all at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
you're tapping into the main three ways that all humans communicate, which is amazing, and it's the
Yeah,
best way. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fantastic.
awesome. And so let's go back to in terms of belief systems. So when somebody is actually doing the tapping, anything that any human being is doing, they need to be all in. They need to
Mm-hmm.
believe, right? Because that's also what you said, to
Yes.
really believe. And people can talk themselves in or out of anything in their own mind. And that's why when you change the energy, you're going towards shifting the belief systems at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say in your experience and even working with all the clients that you work with, what would be the biggest belief blocker that people would have that would get in their way to reach their outcomes?
Biggest one would probably be, I don't know that they would necessarily be our clients because they have this belief that they can't heal or age is a factor. I'm at such and such an age, so that means I'm going to have this bunch of symptoms. I think that's probably one of the more common ones that we hear. We were at an event a couple weeks ago, and there was a lady there who we spoke with, and we were just talking to her about health related issues. And she said, "Oh, I'm at the age where, pardon me, this stuff just happened. You guys are young." And I'm like, and I said to her, "It doesn't have to be that for you," kind of thing. And she walked away, and that's okay because not everyone's going to be on the same journey to change their beliefs.
But
But
that's
someone out
like
there but someone who's listening right now might be open to this shift as far as your
mhm,
age doesn't dictate how you feel, what your mental capacity is, what your capabilities are.
mhm.
You decide that at any age. Doesn't matter. Age is just a number.
Absolutely. And Amanda just touched her head when she said belief, right? Like just like people making up things in their head as she was tapping her head, which is so true. And it's unfortunate that that woman is choosing to believe that because
Mm-hmm.
that's just her choice of how she's going to live her life. And it's going to do a disservice for her
Mm-hmm.
and her health, longevity, even all the people around, right? Like I was at the gym. I think it was last year. Well, I still go to the gym all the time, but um but there was this woman and she was about 10 years younger than me and complaining about this, complaining about that. And
Mm-hmm.
interesting, even just as you're saying with the tapping that we can say positive things to get ourselves in this positive energy. But if people are constantly saying negative things about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's also keeping them in the negative energy, keeping them
Yes.
like blocking themselves because the truth is anybody can do anything. We're all just ordinary human beings. And
Mm-hmm.
if we choose to change our belief system, then all of a sudden the things are changing within us, which is an amazing thing. And if I were to pick one of the things of a belief system, a lot of clients that are trying to lose weight and they're like, oh, well, I'm in menopause. And
Okay.
and yeah, I know. And my comment is like, well, I actually like I also do have like a marketing company, and I do marketing for a lot of walk-in medical clinics, and I talk to a lot of doctors, and I actually ask like tons and tons of doctors about this whole like menopause thing and weight, and no doctor would tell somebody like, oh, you're in menopause, like,
With
because
that
that would
voice too.
also what.
Yeah. With that voice as well.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that voice. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is that no doctor would say that, but also too, if that belief was true to all of us as humans, then that would mean that every human
Hmm.
that's over the age of 50 would be overweight, and that's just not the case.
Absolutely.
So we need to, if we are in a negative belief, we need to prove ourselves wrong, right? So like, for example, if I encourage anyone listening to this, if you're in a negative mindset about this menopause, or what Amanda was saying about, oh, I'm this age, so oh well, you know,
Hmm.
my ship has sailed, like, or whatever, that find people that prove you wrong, and talk to them, engage with them, be curious about what their beliefs are, right?
Hmm.
Like, um we have examples of this anywhere. Can you think of another example of how people can be kind of proven wrong to certain beliefs? Like, another belief would be, oh, I've always been overweight, or oh,
Hmm.
um, I can't do, say, like run a business, or I can't get that promotion, or I can't public speak, right? They could name anything.
Pretty much any of those. It's like, why can't you? There's
Hmm.
nothing really stopping you. You're just deciding not to. Like I could have done the
Exactly.
same thing when it came to going to Toastmasters, because growing up, I was like horrified of the idea of having to present in front of the class. And I actually refused not to do it. But
Oh.
as I've grown up and put myself in situations where I knew the benefit of presenting was there and getting out of my comfort zone, it was awful at the time, but now I don't have that denying of an experience. I'm not speaking. I'm actually doing that now. I'm getting up in front of people and presenting things and having speeches, and like I would have totally missed out on all these things if I had just completely stayed where I was when I grew up. It's amazing the difference in the opportunities for me in my growth, especially for me personally with business. Like if there's something that's pulling on you that you want to do, the word can't is one of the worst things you could say to yourself. I can't do that.
Hmm.
What about flipping that and saying, I can do that? How can I do that? How can I find support to do that?
Hmm.
And surround yourself with the right people as well. Because there are a lot of people in the world that sometimes want to keep us stuck and keep us down because whatever reason.
It's normally
Cert-
fear.
yeah.
Hmm.
Or maybe they're in judgment because they think I'm not doing it, so you can't do it either, or something to that effect. Find the people who will support you into the direction you want to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, the more and more that we're surrounding ourselves with people that are either already where we want to be,
Mm-hmm.
then we're following along and seeing, oh, how can I do this and how can I do that? But it'll obviously be their own way of how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's so humans are fascinating, the way that we can uh, adjust, adapt, we're resilient, right? We
Mm-hmm.
and but the interesting thing is that everything stems by fear, right? So when you talk about that, you actually went through all of the emotions that you had to go through to actually get up and talk in front of people. And
Mm-hmm.
Scott McFall, which is the founder of the Master Hypnotist Society, that we all learn and grow from in, Hypnosis Training Canada and stuff like that, the group that I'm surrounded with. And he says, and this is so true and so accurate, that maturity is moving through frustrated desire alone. So it's moving through your own emotions, your own frustrated desires, your desire to speak in front of whoever you want to speak in front of. But it's alone. Nobody can actually do it for us. We have to experience it ourselves and have that proof. So just as, the examples of proving that, oh, here's a person that proves me wrong. Here's a person that proves me wrong. Okay, cool. Now I can go forward and do what I want to do. Just as you had proof that you went through it and you moved through all the emotions that you had to move through. And then the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, umpteenth time, you're not moving through those emotions anymore because you're just doing it. Right.
Yeah. It's a dramatic change from, nope, I'm not speaking. Nope, you can't make me. It's not happening, to now where it's, sure, I still have the nerves. That's kind of a normal part of it sometimes. And I think that's a part of it as well if you really care about what you're doing. Because if you didn't, then why would you be doing it, I suppose? And you wouldn't care and you wouldn't have those feelings. It's okay. It's just find ways to find tools to help you move through that so you can do the thing that you were looking to give the talk that maybe someone really needs to hear.
Well, and even anything as we get older, there's all kinds of new opportunities, right? Like, for example, like you play soccer, and
Yes.
my husband and I were walking the dog, and the soccer ball just happened to just coincidentally, I had no idea that you were playing soccer there or whatnot. But as I was walking, because I think I kicked the ball back, right? And I've never, I think I played soccer maybe in grade 5 or 6 or something like that. So for me to actually kick the ball back into the game or to the person or whatever it was a really weird feeling in my body. So even when I went back and walked the dog, and I'm surprised the dog didn't go get the ball. But yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, how did they kick the ball? It's so technique and this and that. And it's the same thing. It's just the repetition of proving to yourself that you can do it. Right.
You probably didn't think about it though. You probably just did it.
I thought about it because I was like, ball, foot, okay, shoe on foot. Yeah, just kick ball. I was actually going to pick it up, but I had the leash in my hand, the dog leash. So I was like, it was literally like, okay, but I'm also the type of person that just does things. So it wasn't like, what should I do? It was more about what made sense because I had the leash in my hand. So to pick up the ball and then throw the ball, because the ball's so big, I was like, okay, I need both hands to throw the ball. If I just kick it, it's just the easier option.
Yeah.
So it was actually what was available for me to do, right? It's kind of like I have two things and I have one in each hand. Okay, open door with foot. That's good.
What's the best resource here?
Yes, what was the best resource? Exactly. So, which dovetails back to what is your best resource in order to change your beliefs? So, anyone listening to this, what's your best resource? What's your best chorus that can get you into the resource state? What's your version of B.B. King and Eric Clapton?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, we welcome all of you to B.B. King and Eric Clapton. Yeah, maybe even put them in the show notes. I love me some BB King.
Yeah, just solid song.
Yes. Yes. So what would you what do you want to leave people with when it comes to helping them change their beliefs?
I think basically that wherever you are now, if you don't want to be there, there's an opportunity to be at your goal. Age doesn't dictate where you have to be. Your level of skill right now doesn't dictate. You can always find education around something you're looking to do. Just don't let anything stop you. If there's a goal in mind, whether it's health, relationship, whatever it is, if it's coming up for you, there's a reason for it. Follow that intuition and use the freedom mind to look for your resources to get to where you want to go, because it is possible. It's not going to show up if it's not possible for you. So listen to it.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your insight. And I love like all the things that you're bringing to people here from these different ideas and themes and things like that. So awesome. And we're going to have all of Amanda's info in the show notes and stuff like that. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure's all mine.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for today's episode of The Root of It All with Tree. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. But before we go, I just wanted to remind you that you can follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram. And we will be posting motivational quotes and behind the scenes content that you won't want to miss. You can always sign up to come live while we're filming this, or even join us online through Zoom. We always offer open question and answer after each episode that we don't record, so it's all private, but you can get more involved. So sign up for free at businessgrowthresults.com, and we're going to cover all kinds of different topics that you're not going to want to miss. And if you're looking for that one-on-one guidance or help, be sure to book a free screening. You can do that at burlingtonhypnosis.ca or call 905-634-4777. And finally, you can catch our podcast on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So be sure to subscribe and never miss an episode. Thanks for listening.